Hey, happy people. Welcome back to another live stream. Oh, I hope you guys are okay and enjoying this glorious weather we're having here in the UK. If you're not in the UK, yeah, just leave a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to see where everybody likes joining in the live streams from, which is pretty amazing. First things first, sorry I wasn't able to be here last week because I had an event on Monday that I could not cancel. So there was no live stream last week, but we're back. And yeah, I can't wait to get started with today's live stream. First and foremost, I just want to get a few things out of the way. Housekeeping and all that. We've got to do some of that. As usual, if my internet is not great, if I get disconnected, I will keep going. Hopefully the live stream will catch up and it will stay, because I think it's happened before in a previous live stream where my internet dipped and somehow it just continued, like it caught up, but it had bits that were cutting off. So I'll just keep going and then I'll leave it as is. But if it disconnects completely, I'll catch you next week. please come back. I'd really like to see you guys next week. So with the technical housekeeping out of the way, as usual, I'm a mom, busy household. I might get interrupted, so that might happen. And it's also school holidays, so there's that as well. And then another thing is just a quick reminder. I do my live streams every Monday between 7 and 8 p.m. And as I've said, last week I wasn't able to, so I try as much as possible to do them every Monday. If not, I'll just do them when I can, but I want to make this a regular thing. I don't want to be in a situation where I don't do it one week and then it just spirals out of me not doing it at all. So yeah, so if I won't be able to make it, I'll always leave an announcement on my Instagram stories, like I did last week. So that's gonna happen. But yeah, every Monday 7 to 8 p.m. And if I can't do the 7 to 8 p.m. and there's a time change, I will always say that as well. Either it will be earlier or later in the day on Mondays. But as usual, if you're not able to make it live, the live recordings are always on my YouTube channel. So the way it's set up, YouTube sets it up is videos, something, and you can find the live link there. Let me just go on to... let me see if I can find YouTube, my YouTube account, so I can kind of explain how it works before we hop on today's topic. So once you get onto my channel, just give me 1 second. Yeah, so there's menus on top of the channel, like home, videos, shorts, live, playlist, posts, and all of that. So yeah, so if you click on the live, you'll see all my live videos on there as usual. Yeah, and this is technically my 5th live, but like part of the series, the live series that I'm doing called Let's Chat. So this is my 5th one. And yeah, if you can, go and watch the others. If they add any value, leave comments, engage with them. I'd really like to see how... I really like reading comments and seeing how whatever I'm doing is benefiting somebody out there. So it would be really, really nice to engage with my audience while I'm doing this. I need to switch off my phone and make it... getting notifications and it's distracting me. So let me just put that on live, flight mode, because notifications are popping up everywhere. Okay, and then also another thing, I'll be looking at different sides of my screens because I have a screen in front of me with my notes, and I have a screen on this side with just checking the live stream and making sure just checking the live stream is working okay, and also the chat box so I can see if people are commenting or if people have questions. I can always like answer those in the live broadcast. So yeah, I guess we can start with today's topic, which is a topic I've touched on, I think, in other lives. I don't know if it's the last one or let me see. The last one was how to start out as a photographer today. Yes, I did touch on it a little bit on that one. And what prompted me to do it this time around is because on Monday, last week Monday, when I was at the event, I asked a photographer, because it was a photography exhibition event. I asked a photographer who has really amazing work because it was a group exhibition if they have a website, and they said no. And I was like, why don't you have a website? And like, I am on the verge of creating one because they have really good work, but their work lives on social media. And this is the topic, like why every photographer needs a website and not just relying on social media. And this is something that is really, really, that has been really, what is the word? What I'm trying to say? That has been bugging me the most when it comes to creatives. And I get it. Websites are not cheap. They're not necessarily cheap. And I can understand the reluctance of a lot of photographers not getting a website because one, you have to sit down and start curating your website. You have to put all the things together, whereas social media is kind of easy. You just log in and start posting. That's it. There's no curation. Some people do curate, but there's not necessarily a lot of thought into it, apart from probably thinking of how okay, not now, but at the beginning it used to be a way where people could arrange their photographs to look good in the grid, and even making sure their photographs have the same color palette and all of that jazz. But now a lot, and when I'm talking like this, I'm talking especially on Instagram. I'm not sure about Facebook, TikTok and all of that, and even LinkedIn and all of that. When it comes to curating your photography work for these platforms, but this topic is just generally for social media, basically. But I think Instagram will be one of the top ones up there because it started out as a photo social media site, and it's transitioned into something else, like heavy on video now rather than photography. And even the grid itself has changed, the orientation has changed and all of these things. So, and this is why I think I insist whenever I talk to other photographers, especially beginners, this is why I always insist on you having a website. I guess it does help you having a place to put your work. So yeah. And before I go any further, you'd be wondering, if you don't know me, my name is Elsie and I'm a photographer. I forgot to introduce myself. Apologies. So if you're new here, hi. If you're a returning audience, hi as well to you. And if you're new here, why don't you consider like subscribing to my channel? Like I said, I always do these live sessions every Monday. And yeah, I'll start coming back to editing more long form videos aside from doing live videos. Yeah, so just working towards that. But yeah, back to the topic at hand, like why every photographer needs a website. And I think with social media, it gives you this illusion like you own most of your images. Like nowadays, like they keep changing the goalposts. They keep moving the goalposts and changing their terms and conditions when it comes to like content on these platforms. So you kind of don't own the audience on social media when it comes to showcasing your work. So in a way, your website kind of helps you own your own audience, because you get to keep them longer when they log into your website, because they will be navigating your website and checking out your work for I assume more time. And it also depends on how you've curated your website, because that also makes it in such a way that somebody stays on your website for a long time. So the illusion of ownership when it comes to social media is almost non-existent, because you technically don't own your audience. I've said that. And these platforms can shut down. How many times have you seen Instagram shut down and people scrambling like, oh, I need to post, what's going on, it's frozen, blah blah blah, and all of this jazz. Websites have shut down. I mean, social media platforms have shut down, and people are stuck like, hey, this is the only way like I showcase my work, and if people can't see my work, how are they going to see my work if it keeps shutting down? That's one. The other one is accounts being banned, especially when you use the wrong hashtags and all of these things, especially with what's going on around the world. One hashtag can essentially get your account banned. Being hacked, Instagram and other social media accounts do get hacked because of the amount of followers some people have. And yeah, and with that you get to lose your account. I know of a friend who lost his account because he was hacked. It was shut down, and because he uses social media a lot to promote his work, he was at a loss, so he had to create a new one and start from scratch. So you can see where this can also mean you have no control over this, the shutting down or crashing banned accounts, and then changes in algorithms overnight. Like, how many times have you had people saying, hey, I haven't seen your work in a while, but when you tell them that you've been posting, it's like, oh, you never come up on my feed. It's happened a few times where even when I go and scroll on people's social media, I mean, I'm like, oh, they posted new work, how comes it didn't come up? And because I don't necessarily engage with them a lot, that could also be a factor into why you never see some of the people you follow. It's until you literally go to their account, because I've seen it. It's like literally you go to their account and click on a post and like it and engage with it. That's all of a sudden you're starting to see more of the stuff they've been posting. And you're like, this is interesting. Whereas if they're on their website and a photographer keeps updating with new work and everything, you can always go and see what they're working on, and even just checking out past work and seeing somebody's growth within the industry. So yeah, social media can, like I said, social media can be not a good thing in that sense, where, yeah, like I said, you don't own the audience, and you can lose your accounts with regards to that. Whereas with your website, I think the only way you can lose your account is obviously hacking. If somebody hacks onto your website and they shut it down, you can still lose your website the same way as you can lose your social media. And if the company who hosts the website goes bust, one of the few ones I can think of right now, because it certainly happened to me where I used a platform that was recommended for a while, and then all of a sudden the company stopped existing, and they had to shut down. But luckily by then I'd shifted back to the company I was using before, the platform I was using before, and I kind of started building my website again using my previous company before the other one shut down. And when I went back to kind of look on how I curated the website, it had already gone. So that's the only instance I can think of a website like you losing your website, like the company going bust, as in the platform that you're hosting your website going bust and they're not operating anymore, or somebody hacks into your account and wipes your website. Those are the only things I can think of, like that websites might not be advantageous, but when you look at the pros and cons between websites and social media, websites have better pros in comparison to social media. I have always said this: websites are your home, where you put your work and you showcase your work and talk about yourself in much more detail, and you build it and curate it the way you want it to look to your audience. Whereas social media is a tool that you can use to market yourself. Yeah, as in, think of social media like a marketplace where you have so many stalls of people selling wares or vegetables or whatever, and your audience is the people who go to the market to buy those wares, and they stop at your stall, they look at your tomatoes, they don't like it, they move to the next stall. That's social media. That's the best analogy I can give it, to be honest. Whereas a website is like that same person who went to the shop comes to your home for dinner, and they stay for long. So that's the best way I can describe it at the moment. So yeah, social media, the illusion of ownership is, when you have social media, is almost non-existent. The illusion of ownership, like your audience, is non-existent, and all of this. And that is why having a website is really, really important, especially when you're starting out. Maybe not, as in when you're growing and you're seeing like, okay, fine, I'm going to be a photographer for the longest time. I have a body of work that I need to showcase. Let me have a place where I can put all my work and start getting people to see what I can do. Then I would highly recommend having a website for your work. And also, when it comes to social media, like the algorithms and having control, social media kind of controls who sees your work. And I've explained this with that idea of ownership. Like, how many times have you seen people complaining that they cannot see your work? How many times have you noticed that you hardly see any of the people that you follow on your FYP, like For You page? Like, you're always seeing other random people, which sometimes can be a good thing and sometimes not, because you might see something that doesn't align with what you're trying to look for, like other photographers or other people who might help build your photography business and all of this jazz. So, and this is all to do with how the social media algorithms are set up. And as a result, your work may not be seen by your target audience because of this. But unless you are constantly engaging with the accounts that you want people to see your work with, chances are it will be hard for that consistency of people engaging with your work and seeing your work when it comes to social media. And this is why I always point out, like, social media is a marketing tool. If you have a website and you have new work, you can certainly put it, let's say, on stories or like a post on your page, and share it and say, hey, I have new work up. You can see more of my work on the website, and have a link of your website on your bio, on your social media bio. That way you can almost manipulate that audience to come to your website to see what you have. They might come and see the new work that you've talked about, but also they might stay to see, especially if there are new people who've never come across your work before, they will stick around to see what else is in store in your website. What else are you showcasing in your website? And this is why it is important to have a website, because people will stick around longer. Yeah. And you might be reaching out to people who will be like audiences who are ready to like probably hire you for jobs. And this is why websites are really, really important, because you will have more control when you have people engaging with your work on your website, as in compared to people navigating your social media, if I'm saying that correctly. Because with social media, I find it a bit distracting, to be honest. Because somebody will go to your feed, nowadays you'll never find somebody keep scrolling all the way to the bottom. Because another thing that I noticed as well, when somebody's on your page, let's say for instance Instagram, or even, I don't know if other platforms do that because I've never tested it, like somebody's on your page, there's no search button. No one can search your tags, the tags on your social media account, to see what work you have on your social media that link to that tag. Let's say they're looking for sports photography. In my instance, they're looking for sports photography. If you type sports photography, all other accounts will pop up, but not mine. Probably not even mine will pop up. Other photographers will pop up. But that searchability is not there. But I think it's being changed in the coming months. I'm not 100% sure, but that's going to happen, like where if you search on Google, your social media account will come up as an example. I think I might be saying that wrong, but it's something that's probably in the works. But when it comes to having control on who sees your work, it is not there. But whereas on your website, it's different, because you'll have SEO. Your website will have SEO optimization, as in user experience. You'll have full control on how your website will look like over the layout, and also the message you want to put across, right? Because the user experience, where the short form is UX, it literally focuses on creating a seamless and enjoyable experience for users. Whereas SEO, which is search engine optimization, helps people discover your content through search engines like Google. And in most cases, it drives traffic to your website for free. You do not have to pay for it. Of course, with social media, you don't pay for it. But with this, more traffic is diverted to your website. And this is why I always insist on people having website, because this the amount of traffic that you get has an advantage over social media. With social media, you're competing with too many people, whereas on your website, it's just you. The website is just literally just you and your content. There's no one else. Obviously, when it comes to SEO and people discovering your website, it's the keywords and the tags that you use on your website that will make your website discoverable, if that's a word. So, and again, like I said, the SEO and the user experience, the UX, as in they tie in with each other, because you can control how your website looks to your audience, and you can control your messaging to your audience when they come and visit your website, as in have more wording. And when I think about Instagram again, on your website you'll have clickable links. Like if you tag, even back to like your social media, if you're talking about a particular thing and you put a link there, and it's clickable, so you can direct your traffic to what you're talking about. Like let's say talking about something even within my website, like I'm talking about my tear sheets on my website, of which I'm going to show you shortly, like what I mean here. Like if I have tear sheets on my website but I'm talking about it in my about page, I can link it, and somebody can click to it, and the page will come up with my tear sheets of where I've published my work. So, and this is the thing where I'm saying a website is really important, because it will have more advantage to you as a photographer over social media. Yeah. And then the other thing with regards to why websites are really, really important, and why photographers need to stop relying on social media again, is your website is your digital storefront as well. Because it serves, I've said this, like it's literally focusing on you and you only, whereas social media, it's not. It's focused on you and other billions and millions of people. So with your website, it's just focused on you, and it serves as a primary online presence where you can showcase your work as a photographer with much my kids are laughing, with much greater depth without any distractions. So this is why I'm always insisting on people having websites over social media. Like always think about having a website first and then build on your social media presence. Or you can still do it the other way around, because I mean, this is the day and age we are in. But I would certainly, as a beginner, because I think this advice would be more more advantageous for people who are starting out and wondering, do I really need a website in this day and age of using social media? And I think you do, because again, digital storefront, online presence, primarily for you and you only. You're not competing with anyone other than yourself. And also it gives people who are coming to see your work first impressions of who you are, what you are, and what you're bringing to the table as a photographer. So you can have your custom branding on there, curated galleries, contact forms, like people can contact you easily, and just an overall professional look. And again, clickable links, especially where platforms like Instagram doesn't provide yet, I think, because a lot of people have been complaining about this, where Instagram doesn't have clickable links. Because I've seen time and time again on the caption, somebody will talk about something. Mostly I think it's like, the ones I've seen is YouTube links. They'll put a picture or a video, because Instagram now is video heavy. They'll put a video or a reel and something, but in the caption they'll be like, watch the full video on YouTube, and then they put the YouTube link. But if you're on your phone and everything, there's no way to highlight that link and copy and paste, because the link is not clickable, which is super annoying. But had it been on your website, it would be easy. Even if you curated a page where, let's say like on a blog side of your website, if you have a blog, you can talk about in depth. You can put the video there and you can talk about it in depth, like give a proper description. Like some people like reading over watching. So, and you can put a link to the video if you want to just put a snippet of it on your blog or just a picture, and you can put a link like, hey, go and watch this video on YouTube, like click it or put it on YouTube. And this is why I think the website trumps the social media when it comes to stuff like this, and clickable links is up there. Again, curating your website to showcase your portfolio. Like you can have so many things on your website and you can group them together, you know. Let's say, for instance, I am a portrait photographer. I also do sports and I also do events and I work on personal projects. So you can see these are already 4 things I'm talking about right here. I can put my portraiture work in one portfolio and I put a link, click the link, the portfolio comes up with all my portraiture work. The next one, I can put a link to my sports work. In that section, I can put even sub folders or sub pages, sub portfolios on there of different sports work that I've done. I can keep it in that page and you can see different sports stuff that I've done. And then the next one, I can do an events page. I can either make it live or I can have it hidden, but I'll have a link in case somebody wants to hire me for events and it doesn't kind of necessarily align with how I want it to look on the website. It can still be built on the website, but hidden. That link, I can put it on the email to the client and say, hey, this is my events page. This is where I've put my work. And it's linked to my website. When they click on it, they go to the events page and they're like, oh, actually, it's on our website. Let's see what else she's doing other than events. And they can look at my sports work and they can look at my portraiture work. And you never know, because whoever is looking at your work, they might see other things you're doing and they might end up hiring you for that job. As I've talked like this, that person has stayed on your website longer than they intended, looking out and checking out your website at other stuff. Whereas if it was on Instagram, sending a link, your Instagram link, some people might not find that really professional, you know, especially when you're trying to get people to hire you for jobs. I don't find like nowadays, I don't see like social media is advantageous in that sense anymore, because it does not feel or look professional when you give somebody your social media link. Whereas if you have a website, it has that level of being a professional. I don't know how to explain it. Probably it's not coming across as the right explanation, but I hope you kind of understand what I mean with regards to that. And also, yeah, again, websites are timeless. You can organize them with your curation, like I said, having all those menus that I mentioned. Whereas in contrast, like social media, especially with Instagram, because that's one of the popular ones, because I mean, it started out as a photo sharing app, but not anymore. So it's a bit distracting and fleeting, because yes, you'll go on my page and then you'll be like, oh, let me see what's on Reels, and you're just constantly scrolling. You've been forgotten literally within seconds, if anything. Whereas on your website, somebody will stay there for a bit longer. Within like more than a minute, 2 minutes is enough for somebody to take notice about you and what you're about in your website. And I think I will start. Let me just share my website, so at least you can have a clue of what I'm really trying to talk about here, and to understand the dynamics with regards to why it is important to have a website of a social media, because there's a lot of things that are going on, a lot of elements. So if I can share my screen, let's do this. I'll become small and you can check me out. So this is essentially my website, right? At the moment, I had to take off my portfolio because I'm trying to curate it much better, and have a lot of my work on there, anything new, and just update it. Because at the top here, I had my portfolio, which I've kind of like hidden it for now. But once you log into my website, like ek13photography.com, already my branding is here. Automatically, you know, this is my website, that's ek13, and my brand logo is clickable. So when you click it, let me just come out and show you. Like if I start from the contact page, right? But we'll come back to this, and you click the logo to go back to the home. The logo is you going back to the home. If I had a portfolio, I would set it up to go back to the home page. But currently, because my portfolio is hidden, my home page is my about page. And again, this is you can design this to look however you want it to look. Like for me, I put, this is a self-portrait. This is already my work on there. A description of me, and just introducing myself. And then everything else that I've done in my about page, like exhibitions I've been in, like this, like solo exhibition, group exhibitions, and films that I've done, awards that I've gotten, features like being interviewed in magazines and being featured in magazines and stuff, conversations, talks I've taken part in, like this was like part of like either films that I've done. I've been invited into a panel and done talks and stuff like that, and even to do with my work. Again, memberships and directories on here, like all the directories and memberships I'm part of. And also something that I added here is being a jury member. As you can see, on your website, you can put a lot of stuff. Like, would you be able to do this on your social media? I guess you could, but it will be forgotten. To be honest, it will be forgotten. You can put a reminder, like a post, and put like about page, but this will be forgotten when you put it on social media. But at least here, somebody can literally go down and see everything that I've done or I'm up to, right? And also putting stuff like this at the bottom, like buttons to support my work, and also like copyright information and all these things. Clickable links, right? So for instance, like I spoke about earlier when I was talking about my about page, and then like here I said, Elsie has worked on various assignments, mainly within the sports industry, and her photography has appeared on several publications in print and online. As you can see, it's underlined, meaning it's a link. Yeah, if I click that link, just give it a second to load. That link of print and online shows it goes to my tear sheets. Again, you will not be able to do this on social media. So this is where I come and showcase all the my tear sheets are all the places my pictures have been published. So if I can find them, I always take screenshots and just make sure I showcase my tear sheets or the places my pictures have been published all newspapers. Like this one was on TV. All I did was made sure I looked for the exact screen where my picture was showcased, and then I just took a screenshot of the website with the with the TV. And yeah, again, this was a recording of Six Nations Sin Bin on BBC Wales. This was on TV. Literally, my picture was shown on a big screen on a show, and I just took a screenshot of that, so I could put it as a tear sheet. And again, yes, you would do this on social media, but on individual posts, or probably you would do it as a reel, but it will be forgotten after a while. But here they live on my website constantly. So, and again, the way I've arranged it is the latest one is always at the top. So every time I'm published, I will always come and update this. And it will stay updated whenever I find images have been published. So like this is for Ellie Kildan. This is the latest one that was published this year in 2025. Okay. So that's on my about page. Again, if we go to the about page, several print and online underlined link, and also other stuff that I'm doing, like I'm a co-founder of the African Photo Book and the Photo Mama podcast. So again, these are linked. You wouldn't be able to do this on social media. So for instance, if I click the African Photo Book, a project that I'm working on, it's on a website. We have social media. Yeah, we do have social media for this, but also a website where the same platform that I use for my AK13 photography is the same platform I've used to create the website for the African Photo Book. Again, you have your logo on there at the top, the branding of the website, and then the menus and sub-menus, especially the photo books. So you can click on all the countries, and then catalogs, blog, and about page. So like, let's say if I click on the tab feature for this, you see, this is like the latest book that has been published. We've published on our website. But this tab feature is also a blog post. If I click the blog post, as you can see, it's over here. So you can read more in depth about that book. So you can see, click it, and you can read a more detailed write-up of the book with pictures, something again you cannot do on social media. As you can see, we've stayed here for quite a while. If I was to go on social media right now, I'll be scrolling and looking at other people's, because it keeps refreshing. Social media keeps refreshing, so you can see what is the next person that you follow is doing. So, and then you're stuck there for minutes or seconds even, and you're moving on to the next thing. Whereas with website, you're staying and engaging with the platform and the person's work. And this is why I'm constantly insisting on people having websites. So going back to my own website, this is the about page. So when it comes to projects, you can have subheadings, right? Subheadings. Under projects, I have, at the moment, I have 4. And this has been curated in such a way where this is let me click on one. This is the current work that I'm doing, a project that I'm working on that's long term. As you can see, I've curated it to have the description on the left hand side and the images on the right hand side, and all these images are there, and all I have to do is literally add. If I'm going to add more, I'll just literally refresh and add them on the first 3 rows. This is just curated for these instant images. 3. If I go back and do the next one, marinated hymns, again, I've curated it the same way, but the only difference is this is a video. I can put a video, click on it, and it plays, and you can hear it playing. So I've embedded a video on my website and with a description. Can you do that on social media? I don't know, maybe, because your description will be your caption and all of that, right? But again, people get to stay longer. When it comes to installations, it's different. The way I've done it, I've switched it around so the images are on the left, the wording is on the right. So here I've just taken pictures of my work being showcased at exhibitions. So with a little bit of a description of where this happened. So basically this is it. Again, we still stayed. I'm literally going through my website step by step. Like, again, with social media, you will not be able to do all of this. And this is why the curation part comes in. How are you going to be showcasing your work to your audience? What are they going to see when they come to your website? So that's a little snippet on projects. And then people to contact you, your contact page. Again, for commissions, collaboration, print sales, and project inquiries, please get in touch using the following form, which is on the right-hand side here, and I will respond to you as soon as possible. If people don't want to fill out the form, there's always an email directly. You can contact me directly using my email, and I'll get it in my inbox, and I'll respond to people who get in touch with me, Again, social media, it's really, really difficult to engage with people via it's not difficult, it's long, because sometimes I find when I want to talk to people, I will reach out to them on social media, but I always give my email. I say, hey, can we move this conversation out of the DMs? Let's take it to email. So at least you can also have that paper trail, and it's less distracting. Again, it's less distracting, because if you have email, you're concentrating on that person and not necessarily scrolling on social media, because the person will DM you. Once you come out of that DM, you're back to scrolling, but on email, you'll be focusing on the task at hand. And this is why, yes, reach out to people on DMs, but give your email. But also, this is why our website is really, really important, because people just focus on one thing and not get distracted so easily. And then obviously the other menu is like, I created a place for resources. These are just lists that I came up with, curated lists that I came up with, like Black women photographers on YouTube, and then books, photography books you can have on your shelf. Like, I thought this was important to just create a separate section for all these lists that I created under a resource column, a resource page on my website. So yeah, photography books on the bookshelves part 2, and photography podcasts hosted by women. So again, these are lists that I blogged about, right? And if I was to click, let's say, on the curated list of Black women on YouTube, discover, I click it there. So this is it. It's literally a blog post, right? I just curated, talked about it, and then I went through all the YouTube channels that I could find, and I listed them down on this blog post. And it's quite long. You will not be able to do this on social media. If anything, I would, and I've done it several times, I took this link from my website and shared it on social media. So when people click on it, they come back to my list, they come back to my website, and they look through all the list. You see, so I'm directing traffic back to myself, back to my website. And here, I have so many channels. Like, if I keep scrolling down, I'll scroll and scroll and scroll. The list is long. long. And I think I'll probably do I was thinking of doing a video of a YouTube video version of this blog post to put on my YouTube channel, and I think I'm gonna do that at a later date. So yeah, again, it is super long, and these are active channels. But I think, and I always keep, if I find a new channel or I've seen the channel is no longer active, I'm always updating this list because I know it's part of my resource on my website. And again, I also have a dormant channel as in list as well, as in they posted 1 or 2 videos and then they stopped posting, but somebody out there might find the channel or whatever they shared important, so I always include those as well. And also, if you engage with them, they might come back and post more stuff, so that's one. And also, I put notable mentions of Black women who are in the creative industry as filmmakers, so I created a list as well to include them over here, and I keep updating it. So this is also another way of why your website is really, really good. So you can also showcase other creatives in the industry without the distraction of social media. And yeah, this was a blog post, and that will bring me, let me scroll back up quickly. Like, again, on your website, you will have, like I mentioned, you'll have so many elements that you can cram into one space, and people will stick around for longer. I can't speak. So like now on my website, I have a blog. So let's say you've curated your portfolio and everything, but for instance, you were at a photography event or assignment or job, or you're being commissioned, and you want to show people the behind the scenes, because behind the scenes doesn't necessarily align with your portfolio. With your portfolio, you can show the final image, but if you want to show people the step by step of how you got to that final image or that final result, this is where your blog comes in. This is where you get to talk about all of these things. But with the blog, you can talk about anything that interests you as a photographer. And this is where, for me, I showcase my 30-day photo project. As you can see here, the last one was in April. And yeah, and the blog comes in handy for that. I tried doing this on social media. It was too much. It was not getting the engagement that it needed. And I was trying to curate it in such a way that I was hoping to drive traffic back to my website, and it wasn't working. So I said, you know what, I will leave it on my website because this is where it started and this is where it's gonna be. So on social media, I just tell people, hey, it's April, I'm doing the 30-day. Hey, it's June, it's September, it's November, I'm doing the project. Come to my website and check out the images. And that's how I've been doing. And randomly, I just pick a day and share it on social media and say, oh, we're at the halfway point, it's day 15. This is what I've done so far. These are the images I've shared so far. This is the image for day 15. Have you seen day 1 to 14? Things like that to build interest and to drive traffic back onto my website. So again, the curation bit on my blog, I introduce myself, slightly different from my about page. But again, I've curated in such a way. The latest posts you see from my blog are only 6 posts, but there's also a load more. So when you click on that, it will load more posts on there. And here I've edited the website in such a way where there's a search bar. For example, earlier on, I was testing this and I just typed London, right? So on my tags, when I'm doing a post, so when you click search, it will come up with everything I've done or written on my blog post to do with London, like images I've shared, like any images that I took around London. I do all of that, you see. It's on my blog. It does not necessarily align with my portfolio, but it's my work. It's photography work. So my blog site is for the other stuff, if you know what I mean. You just want to show people another side of you and what you work on and what interests you. The blog side of the website is perfect for that. So as you can see, I've just been like randomly, like this was a thing I started called Slapping London. So I showcased that on my blog. Again, when I do the captions, let's say like this one, captions, and link it like 3 travelators. I'm always intrigued by the London Underground, and photographing these spaces, it's never easy, especially when getting off a busy train during the day. You just have to wait until the area is clear, but you have to be quick. If there's one person who does this very well, and I've been following on social media for a while, is Luke Agbaimoni. Sorry if I've said your name wrong. Also known as Tube Mapper. And I've linked to his website. Not even social media. I made sure this guy had a website. And if I click on it, I follow this guy on social media, right? But he has a website. And what does his website have? All the work he's done to do with the tube. Like all the photography he's done. Luke has also produced books on his photography. And it started as a social media. He started on social media, and all of a sudden now he's doing it on his website. And this is another thing. Buying stuff, having your website be a platform where you can sell your imagery and sell your work. Like I'm seeing here, he has now calendars out. He has 3 books out already. And this is a result of me seeing his work on social media. But when I tagged it on my website, when I go back there, when I linked it on my website, I linked his Luke's website, the Tube Mapper's website, as opposed to his social media, of which you can always find on his website if you want to go and follow them on social media. So if I go back to my logo here, click it. And that's another thing as well. On your website, as you can always, at the bottom of my website page, I have links to all my social media platforms that I use. And I tend to put the first 3 icons as the most popular ones, and then the later ones are the ones I don't use the most. So there's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Pinterest, Threads, and then the blue plane here is Telegram. I have a Telegram link where it's like WhatsApp, obviously, but you can message me on Telegram, and it's not linked to my mobile number. You can always message me on Telegram if you want. I'll get it. Like you can message me directly. So you see, these are things you cannot do on social media, like literally. And yeah, I think I've covered all the bases with regards to why like the social media is literally really, really important in terms of showcasing and promoting your work, but a website up there trumps all of that. Like your website will be something that will showcase you more, much better to your potential clients and potential audience, as in fans of your work. And just hold on, let me just go back to my notes. Yeah. Again, it will allow you to be well organized. It will have with your portfolio curation. And again, I've shown you can have a blog, have your images there, and the images that you share, you can put metadata in them. So when you're doing, people are searching with regards to even tags and tagging your images and tagging your work on your social media, when people are searching, putting those tags and everything on Google, it comes up. Your website will always come up. Even the more you keep using your website name or your name, and you keep people are searching it up, the SEO will push your website up those rankings. Right? And also it builds trust with other people. Having a website will always build trust. That level of being a professionalism that a website comes with is really, really up there in comparison to social media. And yeah, the whole in my notes here I wrote the whole thing of like DM me for rates. No, there's some people on their website, they put their rates on there. It's not for everyone. Not everyone likes putting their rates on the website, but if you're in a position where your job entitles you to put, like, let's say wedding photographers, you can have different packages. You're curating different packages on there, what you provide as a service, and your rates there. So when somebody sees your rates, and you can always link your contact form at the bottom of your rates page, and people can contact you directly. And this is why the website is important. Again, that is one way of getting leads for jobs and people contacting you easily. I've shown you my contact page. You can have your direct email there or through the form. And also having other things linked to your website, like I've shown you the Tube Mappers website, aka Look, where you can start selling stuff. You can start selling your prints, your work. You can start selling workshops. You can have a mailing list. You can have a form. People fill out that form and they subscribe to yourself, to you as a photographer, and you have a mailing list where you keep updating them. Or even link your Substack. If you find that you do not want to have a blog and you want something separate where you can have a much bigger following that's a bit professional, Substack is the other way to go as well. So yeah, and this is why I wanted to share this with you, as in why having a website is really, really important as a photographer in this day and age. There was a time websites were not especially in the rise of social media. At the beginning, social media was becoming very popular. People are finding it easier, especially for photographers. They were finding it easier to showcase their work. But times have changed. People are now going back to website. Even editors are looking, when they're looking for photographers, they're always checking if a photographer has a website, so they can see what work they have much better. But obviously not everything is as straightforward as it seems. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this session, websites are not cheap, and these are things you need to keep in mind. Running a website is not necessarily the cheapest option, but there are platforms that offer free versions to begin with, so you can test it out and see if it works for you. And this is not an ad or anything. I use WordPress and all the other platforms that I've showcased here, like the one for the African the African photo book, my project. I use WordPress with that as well, because I started with WordPress. I moved to another platform. The company went bust. I mentioned this earlier. And then I transitioned back to WordPress. And I've stayed with WordPress for the longest time. I think I've been with WordPress for almost more than 15 years, because it started out as a blog site and then it developed into websites where I can curate my own website and make it what it is today. And yeah, WordPress have a free version. The only thing with the free version, let's say for instance my website name, it will be www.ek13photography.wordpress.com. You'll have the WordPress name on your URL. right? When you start paying, the WordPress name drops. So you will have www.ek13photography.com or .co.uk.org, whatever you pick, right? So with the free version, you'll have that extension, and I think other platforms are doing it. I don't know if there's so many platforms out there when it comes to websites. I'm not sure which other ones are free. If somebody knows, please leave a comment to help other people. But I know for sure WordPress is one of them. There's whether they have a free version or not, or they might have trial periods, probably 14 days or 30 days. I'm not sure. You can definitely try Squarespace. You can try Wix. You can try Format. You can even try, I think I've seen people building their websites on Canva. If you pay for Adobe, you can create a website as well using Adobe. I don't know what the name of the platform, like the website version is, like you say Lightroom, Photoshop, blah, blah, blah. But I think with Adobe they have their own version as well. But yeah, there are so many out there, so many platforms out there where you can have a website, or you can build a website from. But it is really, really important to ensure that you find a version of a platform that offers has a free option, or a trial period where you can test out if it works for you or not. That's the only way I can suggest that. But definitely free versions have their limitations as well. You might see like you're not able to curate let's say a shop where you can sell your prints. They're only available if you have a paid version, and it also depends on the level as well, on the tier of being able to sell prints, or have a form where you can book sessions for consultations or workshops and all of this jazz, or create mailing lists. So whilst doing your homework, whilst checking out what platforms can be beneficial for you as a photographer to start building your portfolio. But having said that, you do not necessarily have to have a full-blown website as well. I've seen people just to secure their name, like their domain name or their business name, they buy the domain and they have a one-page website where it can literally have one of your images or a picture of you describing yourself. Like they're called one-page websites. Like literally it's a profile photo of you, your name, what you do, your social media links, and your email address or whatever. And that could also be your website, because at the background could be one of your images or one of your videos playing. So that's another way of doing that and creating your website. But yeah, I guess just checking on the side to see if there's any comments or any questions. But yeah, I think if you have any questions, just leave them in the chat box, and I will answer them. So I'll give it a few minutes for a chance for people to leave questions in the chat box. But other than that, I hope this has been beneficial in you making a decision on whether you would like to have a website moving forward as a photographer. I would certainly think it's a wise decision for any photographer in this day and age to have a website. Again, you have control on who your audience is when they come to check out your work. Focus is literally on you. You do not have the distraction of social media. And I mean, you control who sees your work, literally. Whereas with social media, you have no control whatsoever on how your work is seen or who sees it. Your website can direct a whole load of traffic if you use SEO properly, and even your user experience is up there, literally, like how you curate your website, how you showcase your images, how you talk about yourself in your about page, how you present yourself on your website. And then also, I mean, it's first impressions, right? It's literally your digital storefront, like your primary online presence. Your website is your primary, social media is your secondary in this sense. You also have to showcase your brand. You have your branding, your logo, your colors, it's just how you create it. It looks much professional. I think I've been talking for so long. I need to lubricate my throat. Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, it will be, our website is like literally timeless. If you organize it well, it will work to your advantage. And also, you can give your audience a deeper sense of what you are through your blog posts and through your imagery. And then also, people can discover you. Literally, I think I subconsciously tell people to search for my name, like EK13 photography. Yeah, I just tell people, search for EK13 photography. Just Google me, EK13 photography. That in itself, just telling people that, will boost my page rankings when it comes to Google. And especially if your name is very unique, you will always be out there. Even when they just type EK13, literally the photography will follow and it will be me. It will be my website. And this is why it is really important to like put much emphasis on people looking for you through your name, like your brand name. And yeah, when they're searching through your brand name, and making sure that the first thing they click on is your website and not your social media. And again, just to repeat, custom email, you can always later on, once you're grown and you've built your website to where you would like it to be, you can start now thinking of other stuff like having a custom email. Like I've like I've shown you on my website. Mine is info@ek13 photography, and that is linked to Gmail. Sorry, that is linked to Gmail. I still have my Gmail email, just in case I forget to pay for the other one. So I still have my ek13photography@gmail.com. But to add that level of professionalism and trust with potential clients, I have a custom email, which is info@ek13photography.com. And that also is linked to my website, which is a .com instead of wordpress.com. So websites are the way to go. And yeah, again, earlier on, I did have a print shop on my website, but I took it down because I want to build on it and curate it much better. So yeah, I can start selling prints later on of my work. When the time comes, when I publish a book, I'll put it on my website so people can buy it from there. And yeah, and just also linking back other people's work that I find interesting, I can link it back to my website via my blog. So talking, like I've shown you about the tube mapper guy, I've linked his website on my website. So that track back as well is really good for interaction between people. I think I've done it several times, and behind the scenes you can see where people are logging in from, where people are clicking in from. A lot of the times, because I use social media a lot, people will always, you can see on the back end, like people are literally clicking on the social media links. Like with Instagram, it will always be the bio, But other platforms, let's say like LinkedIn, if I put a link on my post on LinkedIn and somebody clicked it, it will show on the back end of my website, oh, traffic came from LinkedIn. Should I post there more so that people can come through here? And these are other things you can always monitor as well on the back end of your website, which you won't necessarily be able to do that on social media. So you have much better control with regards to your traffic and your audiences and what they see on your platform. But yeah, I think this has gone of longer than it should be, again, over an hour, because I like to keep these live sessions an hour long, but if I find the information a bit valuable, I will always go over. But I think I will end that there, and I hope this has been beneficial to somebody out there. Again, just checking the chat box, there are no questions at the moment in the live session, but if you're watching this back and you find that I've talked about something here or haven't mentioned anything at all with regards to websites, please leave a comment in the section. And also, I would pose a question to you, whoever is watching, like, if you're a photographer or a creative, it doesn't matter, photographer, videographer, all the above, artist, or general creative, do you have a website? And if you do, why do you have the website, first and foremost? Why do you still keep the website? And on the flip side, as a creative, do you have a website? And if your answer is no, please leave a comment. Why don't you have a website? What is the driving factor for you not having a website? And if you do have social media, has that helped you in the sense of you making the decision not to have a website? Like, I'm curious. I would like to know, why do you have a website if you do have one, and why don't you have a website if you don't have one? What are the reasons behind all of this? And yeah, I think I will leave it at that. There are no questions on the chat today, but if you're watching this after the live, please leave a question in the comment section. If you have anything else to add as to why every photographer needs a website and not just relying on social media, please leave a comment as well in the comment section. I'm sure somebody out there will find this information really, really valuable. And again, we'll be back here next week on Monday between 7 and 8 p.m. I'll try and keep them a bit short. But as I said, if I find the information valuable and I'm running over time, it's fine. I'll keep talking. I love to talk. And so as I've mentioned in my previous lives, I always don't know what topic I'm going to be covering the following week. My topics always come literally towards the end of the week, but the one for today just came to me today morning in the morning, and I had to scramble to put everything together so I can go live. But yeah, if a topic comes in earlier, I'll always share it on my social media, on my Instagram stories. I mean, not on my website for obvious reasons, but it's quicker. So on my Instagram, as you can see on my feed here, this is my Instagram account. This is it. ek13 at ek13 photos. That's my Instagram. So you can always follow me there, and I will always put an update on my stories on the next topic, or when I go live, or if I don't go live like I did last week. So yeah, so I will bid you adieu, and I will catch you guys next week. So enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the rest of your summer. If you're not going to be able to log in during the summer, I know a lot of parents are gonna be busy with summer holidays, but yeah, catch you Monday next week on Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. Bye.